I told him
Joe
I'd do
Biden?
him both. Joe Biden, touchy Joe.
Right. Don't you mean Play With Me by Joe Biden?
Want to touch somebody by Joe Biden. Joe. Well, welcome to the stream. You're in for a show. All right. Already people watching the stream.
By God.
By God. We're going to bring it for you. We're going to bring it for you.
Bringing something.
Bringing something. Something's happening tonight.
One way or the other.
We just don't know what yet. So let's just go ahead.
We're going to let Lambert take the lead with the quarterbacks and just follow up with them.
I definitely want to talk him.
Let's not
but
do that.
Let's not do that.
It's a terrible idea.
You did research, though.
I didn't.
Oh.
I did. I mean, little.
Oh.
I mean, I watched most of them play.
Today on the Back Row Fantasy Show, we're going to talk a little bit about MFL. The leagues are up. 2020 is ready to go. What's happening so early in the offseason, starting now?
Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts, Jeremy Barker, Aaron Arms, and Brian Hucks.
Hey, what's going on? It is Bart coming at you yet again with the Back Row Fantasy Show. Without Arms to my left, it's Lambert, 96.7 The Lamb.
Figured it was coming.
Hey, you knew it was coming. Hux is to my right as usual.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? So, we're going to go a little off the rails this week. We're not going to bring some of the prepared articles about quarterbacks. We're going to talk a little bit about league openings and trades and just happenings that are going on. We've been waiting patiently for the Super Bowl to be over. It's over. We can talk a little bit about that as well. But trades are flying off the board. Picks are going around like crazy. So we're going to touch on some of the things that have happened in our leagues, and we'll get to those rookie quarterbacks next week. Lambert,
What's up?
thanks for filling in for Arms.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
I'm going to do what I can to try and talk as much, talk over you guys, try and interrupt as much as I can, and just eat up a bunch of time.
That would really make the loss of Arms feel non-existent.
It'd make me feel comfortable. I enjoy that.
I almost shaved my head for this.
You should have. But anything that happens, you've got to at least mention that the 49ers defense is your pick in DraftKings this week.
Oh, absolutely. They're the captain.
They're the captain. 49ers defense is the captain. Oh, hello, Carrie. Nice. That must be, somebody said, who's that sexy guy in the middle? It comes up as a girl's name, but I'm pretty sure it's her husband. Great.
Maybe it's not.
Great. Maybe it's
I
not.
mean,
All right, so leagues have opened. 2020 leagues are up and running. Tons of deals have went off the board. Troy Olson says MFL is awful. Who in the world thinks that?
what else is there to use?
Enlighten us, Troy Olson, because what is there to use?
I think Sleeper's pretty popular.
Yes, Sleeper's getting better.
But other than that, there's nothing.
I mean,
Yahoo,
Yahoo.
ESPN, they're both garbage.
Yahoo, ESPN, they're garbage. CBS leagues are garbage.
Yeah, my fantasy league is the way to go. Yes, they don't have a decent mobile platform, but you don't need a mobile platform. There's not an app for everything after all.
I don't mind the app. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I tend to usually just go to the webpage.
I think the problem with the app is the mobile or the live scoring. I think that's the worst part of the mobile app.
Yeah, and the fact that it's third party, but I think it works really well.
Yeah.
So, but I also frequent the site. So, I joined a league. I've dropped a couple, got to cut down on them, but I joined a takeover league and I ripped it to its core, which to me is the most fun thing to do in fantasy football, is take a team that wasn't yours, that you didn't draft, and absolutely tear the shit out of it.
That's what you did.
It was
That
fun
is
to
what I
watch.
did.
It was a lot of fun to watch.
I don't know the tally of how many trades I made, but it's significant. It is definitely significant. So Lambert's you've made a couple deals, right? You have, because
Yeah,
you've stacked your team.
Yeah.
Off the top of your head, what's some of the deals that you have made? If not off the top of your head, then I'll go through this laundry list of. I don't even want to talk about the deals I made because I did it with reckless abandon. Like, I just let it go. I pulled an Elsa.
So the one that I did in our main league, I gave up Darius Slayton, Chris Herndon, and the 210 for Jarvis Landry and the 316, which I was pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, I like that too. Because Landry put up, what, 240
Yeah.
for 2019?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's really not a safer bet as far as 10 to 15 points per game goes. I mean, he's pretty automatic to catch 5 balls at least.
I love me some Darius Slayton, though.
Oh,
Me
yeah,
too.
It kind of hurt to give him up, but Jarvis Landry's pretty consistent, so I had to go with that.
Yeah. No, I like Slayton as well, but the fact remains he had a good rookie season, but are the Giants going to rest on their laurels with Slayton, Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, or do they try to bring someone in, or do they draft one of the top guys
No.
at the position? You don't think so?
No, I think they have too many other needs. They might, I mean, they'll probably draft somebody later on or pick up a free agent, but I think those are the 3 guys going in.
Yeah, I think so too.
Plus, I mean, add in Evan Ingram coming back.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Golden Tate's getting up there in age, but Shepard and Slayton, I mean, they're young. I mean, Shepard's only been in the league, 2-3 years?
Yeah, a little injury prone.
Yeah, he is. But I mean,
Well,
I
they've
don't.
still got Golden Tate.
Yeah, I just see them adding somebody late or a free agent, but I don't think any. I think those are their 3 starters.
And if that's the case, who leads them in the categories? Who leads them in receptions? Who leads them in yards? Who leads them in touchdowns? Touchdowns, I think, is safe for Slayton.
Yeah, I would say reception. You're probably looking at Tate. I would go with Golden
Probably
on that.
Tate. And touchdowns, if you get a full 16-game season out of Ingram, I think it could be Slayton or Ingram for touchdowns. But yeah,
That another guy that needs to stay healthy.
oh yeah,
So I mean, if he stays healthy, yes, maybe. But yeah, I guess looking at it from the perspective of all those guys should be there week 1, kind of a dangerous
oh it is.
core
I
of
mean,
receiving
it's-
Yeah,
weapons.
and add in Saquon
Yeah,
and
out of
you
the
know,
backfield,
obviously
there's a
Danny
lot of mouths to
Dimes,
feed.
you know, progressing. But yeah, they need to work on the offensive line and the defense, and I think that's what they'll focus on in the draft.
Jason Garrett coming to town as coordinator.
I don't mind that.
He's
Interesting to see what Joe Judge does as head coach there, how he does, first year coach.
Oh yeah, Joe Judge of King of the Hill.
Yeah.
The famed Beavis and Butthead. Yes, I made 22 trades.
Holy hell! And just
20
that was just one day, wasn't it?
That was in one day, Wednesday, February 5th. I jump into a league, take over a team that I deemed to be crap.
You had
and
one. We made one together. That's it.
I
out of
took your
22.
cherry that day.
Yeah.
We did, huh?
In that league, took your cherry in that league.
You did. I gave you A.J. Brown.
Oh, so happy.
Don't judge me on this, listeners, because I wanted to tear this team apart. I want to build it with draft picks. Yes, A.J. Brown is a good building block, but I didn't draft him. I didn't bring him in. And that's how I'm looking at this team. I'm a new coach. I'm Adam Gase. Adam Gase walking in here with GM powers.
Oh.
And I'm just going to tear it to its core and go from there. So I did give Lambert A.J. Brown and pick 211 for Corey Davis, Anthony Miller, Noah Fant, pick 114 and pick 214. So
Yeah, but your best tight end was Jimmy Graham.
my best tight end was Jimmy Graham, and A.J. Brown was my best receiver, arguably him or Thielen. So Thielen, I worry about Adam Thielen a little bit. So I dealt him too. Obviously, 22 trades. Pretty safe to say I dealt everyone. So I think I dealt all my players for lesser players and picks and ended up gathering 23 or 24 picks in this draft. Should be a good time. Come May 1st.
Well, and people will get that draft fever, rookie fever. You'll be able to sell those picks back.
Yeah.
when the time comes.
If I want to, I may just go for the old aging veteran / rookie team. Like I dealt my quarterbacks. I think it was David Carr and
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. My bad. Still, obviously a guy from the 90s. But I dealt those guys, and I picked up old veterans along the way. Like once I dealt all my quarterbacks of like Ben Roethlisberger for a third, sure. Trying to keep in it with the old veterans. So
I got to run this trade. I just got a trade offer from Burns. I know this is. It never happens. He actually never sends.
Did he send one?
He sent me one in Red Zone, and it seems like a bit much, but he sent me Kamara and Larry Fitzgerald for Philip Lindsay, Marlon Mack, and DJ Chark.
Say it one more time.
Kamara and Fitzgerald
Going your way.
coming to me,
Okay.
and he wants Marlon Mack, Philip Lindsay, and DJ Chark.
Done deal.
Yeah.
I mean, Kamara's obviously the
Kamara
best
is
player in the
elite.
deal.
Done
Yes,
deal.
Absolutely.
And we were just talking about DJ Chark. Like, can he keep that up? Can he do it again? And we're not 100% sure on that.
Yeah.
I don't know who the
it's all
quarterback's going to be.
speculation at this. It's got to be Gardner.
That's what I want.
Oh,
I mean,
if
that's
they're
what-
smart, deal Foles to the Colts, and just have Gardner be your man.
Colts got a lot of money, though.
That's true.
They got a lot of money. I mean, they got more money than Nick Foles' money. So technically, they could sign the best quarterback in free agency,
Andy Dalton,
Andrew Bartholomew Dalton,
the Red Rocket.
the Rocket of Red. Smash accept, says Troy Olson. Smash accept.
Your phone should.
Yeah,
be
I've
broken.
already
You're hitting it so hard.
accepted and submitted my lineup with Kamara in it.
That's
Nice.
fantastic.
Nice.
So what's your lineup now that you're missing DJ Chark? DJ Chark was the premier player you gave away in that deal, right?
Yeah, and he obviously my starters was Chark, Kirk, and Slayton. You know, I'm young at wide receiver,
Okay.
and it's either plug in Sammy Watkins, Larry Fitzgerald, or Randall Cobb. So I'm hurting at 3.
But you could make up for
Yeah, I
it.
can make up for it.
Do you have any trade bait? Do you have anyone you could move for a wide receiver? Because that's when these leagues open up, the first thing I look at is if I do deal this pick 105, which I did in my league of record for Melvin Gordon, even though I need a wide receiver, how can I recoup and get a wide receiver? Like I'm always trying to play in for the second trade move after I accept the first.
Right.
So do you have anyone that you can move for that wide receiver? Can you put some spice on Sammy Watkins and bring in an upgrade, even if it's slight?
I mean, I don't know who's going to trade for Sammy right now. I mean, he
He
Yeah, he
kind of
might
said he
take a
wants
year
some
off.
time off.
yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, they've said they want him back, but I mean, they're not going to pay him what he's due. So I mean, he's going to have
No.
to restructure, or he's going to be let go. Is the way it seems.
That is the way it seems. Real quickly, Arms is watching, even though he's supposed to be at a comedy show,
Okay.
and he couldn't make it. Arms, the logo is not up behind us because something is wrong.
He
Something is
sabotaged
wrong.
it before he left.
Arms messed with the flash drive holding the back row pictures.
His head's going to pop up there here in a minute.
He's going to
He's
pop
hacked
up
it
like
somehow.
that little Russian guy on whichever Marvel movie it was where they were in the control room and the guy's head popped up on all the screens. He's going to be like,
Should have went with Jurassic Park and the fat guy.
I should have.
Yeah.
I should have. Nobody knows the Marvel movie I'm speaking
No.
of, but
No.
but yeah, and like Troy Olson just commented, even to trade Foles, it'll cost $40 million in dead cap money.
Ooh.
So,
Yep.
not a good move there. I do think they'd love to trade Foles, but I don't know if it.
I don't know if anybody's going to.
I don't know if they can make it
contract.
happen.
Yeah.
And there's so many free agent quarterbacks. There's so many good quarterbacks in the draft.
Troy pulling out the good info.
Troy's from the Capology 101 podcast as
Man.
well. So if we want to know anything about the cap,
He's the guy.
and we're not talking Captain America with my Marvel reference, just the cap, we could talk to Troy.
Nice.
So admittedly, we wanted to take a night off of research, a night off of talking rookies. We're not quite there yet. We want to make sure we bring at least semi-good content on what most consider to be the worst content on any podcast, the Back Row Fantasy Show.
Arms will be glad that he'll be able to give a verbal blowjob to Joe Burrow.
Oh, I didn't want to take that away from him either, to be honest, because he's got chapstick on
Right. He's ready to go.
He has drank the most
He had his
lubricating of
tonsils
liquids.
removed. He's
had
ready.
Tonsils removed. He has a nice cocktail of apple juice and KY jelly in his Yeti tumbler, and a Joe Burrow T-shirt on with a little bib, just ready
Sleeves
to
cut
catch,
out, of course.
ready to catch those $1 million babies. Maybe the whole show should just be talking about arms, or not.
Nah.
So yeah, 22 trades in this new league. Most fun I've had in years. Like,
Yeah,
fantasy
that's-
football is fun, but when you can just trade your whole roster and add 27 picks and get some players back, that's nothing but a good time.
I haven't really experienced that. I've never really took over, I've took over a team, but never went full, like, rebuild with it. Like, just,
It's rare that you get the opportunity because typically, you don't do a takeover team very often. Like normally with the crew of guys that we all play fantasy football with, we're starting a new league and shutting down an old stale league.
Yeah.
So we're drafting most of the time. So when I got the opportunity, like, hey, you want to take a team and fuck the shit out of it? Yes. Yes, I do. Absolutely 100%. So let's talk a few more trades. Hux, have you made any in our league of record since it opened?
I have a couple, actually.
I saw you made a couple. You
I've made
moved some picks.
Moved some picks around. Not really sure what players. I know I had some late first that I moved up to. I traded the 10 and the 15 to move up to 6.
7, I think.
Or 6.
Maybe 6 or 7. Yeah.
So, I moved up a few spots to give up a late first. I got an idea in my head. I'm working on getting. I'm not sure how well it's going, but I'm trying to get pick 5. I got 3, 6, and 7 right now.
I gave up pick 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get. Actually, I think it's off Bauer. He rejected one and didn't come back with anything, so maybe I'm not getting it.
Not close enough.
Well, here, we'll go through the trades that have been done. The league just opened yesterday for business on the 2020 page. The first trade of the offseason, leave it to me as usual. I acquired Anthony Walker. Yes, IDP time. Time to talk about a linebacker. Pretty underrated linebacker. Just because he plays on the same defense as Darius Leonard, he kind of gets forgotten about. But Anthony Walker, he had over 120 total tackles last year after a second year putting up over 100. Just kind of seems like the sky is the limit. He's only 24. I couldn't pass on him. Pick 214 for a 16-teamer, mind you. So I gave up almost the last pick in the second round for Anthony Walker. I had Luke Kuechly retire on me, so that was I filled a need there pretty immediately. I don't think there was going to be a linebacker there at 214. In our league, usually linebackers go late first.
Yeah,
Early to
second,
mid-second.
There's not going to be one that puts up his numbers.
Yeah, no, there's just not going to be one there, to my knowledge. So I had to take the chance and give away some decent draft capital for Walker. Then we had a big deal going with old quarterbacks. We had the Smoky Mountain Warhogs, which is a 2-time league champion, 2 out of the last 3 years. He gave up Matt Ryan, Larry Fitzgerald, and Keyshawn Johnson. And he received from the Logan Locos, Travis. He got Matthew Stafford and Alshon Jeffrey in return. Kind of saw this one as a wash.
Yeah,
pretty
I'm looking at it now, and it's pretty much how I see it. Because Stafford, man, he had that back injury. Who knows about him? He's a free agent. I think I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Is he?
I'm sure they're going to bring him back, but I don't know. You never know about Stafford.
You
that
don't,
back
but Matt
goes out
Ryan's
again.
getting a little older, too.
He is. I just think Ryan's safer.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
He got a little younger with Alshon at wide receiver, so a lot younger.
He might not be. No, I don't
don't
believe
think he is.
I think Stafford is a trade candidate, not a free agent. There's been
thought
some
he was a
trade chatter. Miami was a team that went after him pretty hard an off season or 2 ago. And then Sherwood comes on and says, "You're welcome on the linebacker." I do appreciate it. I needed one. And in IDP leagues, you got to have them.
I had the 210, and I was this close to giving it up for Walker.
See, Sherwood, if you would have just waited a little bit, you might have got 210.
Oh, we were talking about it. I have problems pulling the trigger.
That's what your wife said.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Next trade on deck, we had me again. I gave up 105 for Melvin Gordon. Even though we don't know what team he's going to be on, I'm still saying the Colts. Colts have a ton of money.
But they're extending Marlon Mack.
I know, but they have a ton of money, and to me, he's a great fit there. Whether they actually do it or not, I mean, I've been hearing a lot of Miami rumors as well. They've got a ton of money.
Yeah.
And something I heard, all credit to Travis Wingfield of the Locked On Dolphins podcast. He actually is not going to be doing that podcast anymore. He's moving on to greener pastures. But he actually made a really good point when talking about Melvin Gordon and how maybe you don't pay running backs like Todd Gurley. You don't give him more than $10 million a year, but he kind of broke it down. If you give a guy like Melvin Gordon $10 million a year and not use a first or second round pick on a running back if you really need one, you're kind of winning in that situation, because you could go pay a Jadeveon Clowney $15 to $20 million a year, or you could go pay a Melvin Gordon $10 million a year, and you could use that first or second on a lineman or a linebacker that you have a hell of a lot cheaper. Like, the total picture, signing a good proven running back that can pass protect, catch balls out of the backfield, handle the load, a guy like Melvin Gordon, spending $10 million on him kind of frees your draft up to go get those guys that are actually more expensive. Like, one of the least paid positions in football right now is running back.
Yeah.
So if you can get a guaranteed elite or close to elite level guy for $10 million a year instead of paying a Clowney 15 or 20, then you can get those guys cheap that would normally get paid on the free agent line. So I kind of like the strategy. So now I'm kind of hoping, after listening to that rationale and agreeing with it, I kind of want Miami to sign Melvin Gordon. They have tons of money. It won't even put a dent in their salary cap. And then they can draft, linemen that they need, defense that they need, maybe a wide receiver that they need, a quarterback. They can spend all those firsts and seconds they got on guys like that and not worry about using high draft capital on a running back that may produce like David Montgomery.
Yeah, but I mean, they could still even use one of them second round picks on a running back. So I mean, and bring in somebody to complement Gordon.
They have no one, so it definitely wouldn't hurt. They need a couple. Yes. Gut Punch News asks, is Lambert going to react to music videos tonight?
Yes.
Yes, he has committed. He has committed to doing the reaction videos with us.
Unfortunately.
You're excited.
It's going to be a good time.
You're excited. Just admit it.
Right.
And it's also going to be a short show because we are just talking some trades and trade value. So those will be hitting the internet pretty quickly tonight. Next trade on the board, we already talked about this one, Lambert and the Northampton Nest of Death, which is Michael Bauer of the Dynasty Rewind podcast. Terrible team name.
Yeah, that's god-awful.
It's better than Snow Beast.
It is better than Snow Beast. And we told him to get rid of that name from the last guy that had the team, which we all like the guy that had the team. Nice guy. Terrible name because it's associated with losing. So he goes with Northampton Nest of Death. Don't like it, but he gives up Landry and a third-round pick for Slayton, Herndon, and the 210, as Lambert was talking about earlier. Then he turns around after acquiring the 210 and gives it up for Mitchell Trubisky.
Oof.
Mitchell,
I wouldn't give up a 210 in a Superflex league for Mitch Trubisky.
I don't think I could either. I mean, at 210, you're probably going to be in the range of who? What quarterback do you think will be there at 210? I mean, I think Eason would be there at 210.
Eason, Fromm.
Yeah.
Jordan Love.
Yeah. Give me any of those three over Trubisky. Depending on the team that they land on, yeah. But is Mitchell Trubisky actually going to turn it around and make that 210 pay off?
I don't know his quarterback situation. So
I hope so. He was depleted. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, he was. But 210 for Trubisky. I'm not sure that I love that one. Then he gives up, same team, Bauer of the Dynasty Rewind. Don't not listen to his podcast because of these trades. He's actually pretty good. He gives up C.J. Mosley for a third rounder, 304. This one I'm on the fence about because C.J. Mosley, not a pillar of health.
Right.
304 in this draft has more value than it seems. But we are talking about a perennial 100-tackle linebacker for a third. So I don't know how you guys feel about it. I didn't love it for Bauer. I would have probably held on to Mosley instead of giving up that 304.
Yeah, I mean, if Mosley comes back to health, he's going to be right back there in the middle of the Jets defense, putting up solid numbers. So I mean, it's just that
As long as he's healthy.
healthy, yeah. So it probably wasn't enough, but I think he wasn't probably going to get any more than that if he was, looking for anything more.
They've got Avery Williamson coming back too.
True.
Yeah. And they've got, I know this is a odd name, but they got Cashman coming back.
Yeah,
And Cashman played pretty
he played
well.
well in relief.
Yeah, before he went on injured reserve. So
I don't hate it, but I think he could have gotten a little better pick.
Yeah, I think he could have gotten a late second. I mean, if I still had 214 that I got Anthony Walker with, I'd have gave him that for C.J. Mosley. Maybe
You
not
gotta
a
think, too,
massive
he took
jump.
over that team, so he could be blowing it up.
Yeah, he could be doing what I did and just
Yep.
ripped it apart. I've got some
Absolutely.
really crummy-looking trades in that league. So then we've got a Gus the Gummy Edwards sighting as soon as the new league opens up. Lucasville Death Row, friend of Huck's, gives up Gus Edwards to the Long Island Liberty. It's a rare trade of teams that don't trade in our league of record. Gus the Gummy Gator netted him a third rounder, 313, and a second rounder next year, and a fourth rounder next year.
Yeah.
So what do we make of this? Is this guy banking on Mark Ingram aging out and Gus Edwards taking over? Well,
I'm
what's
not
the
sure.
explanation?
But you've got Justice Hill there,
Yeah,
who played
but
well.
yeah,
He
I don't
did.
know
He
if
got
he'll
a
ever be a
chance.
workhorse,
I-
though.
right.
No.
Yeah, I think Edwards
more of a-
fills the Ingram role better. But I mean, who's to say they don't go out and draft somebody? So I mean,
That's very possible, too.
Well, and they've already got one of the best running backs at quarterback anyhow.
yeah.
Right. And I'm holding on to him in every league. I won't be trading
Right.
Lamar Jackson. Kind of still glad I did that Pat Mahomes deal, but then again, kind of not.
Yeah.
Kind of
wasn't-
not.
There wasn't the regression that everyone was talking. I mean, there was some. Of course,
With
he was
Mahomes?
injured. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely.
Right, well,
I don't know
there
if it
was
was
gonna be.
like play on the field regression, fantasy regression. Yeah, sure.
Yes. Yep.
But yeah, he's a Super Bowl winner now.
Absolutely.
So
MVP.
how can you argue? Should we talk about the game for a minute before we move on? I personally was kind of torn on the MVP.
I was too. I mean, I think there was a number of guys that probably could have got it. I mean, Damian Williams for one. I'm not really sure you could have picked somebody on the defense because I think there was multiple guys that
There
probably
was, but
that you could have picked and been okay with picking. But
Yep.
there was a few guys that stood out to me.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Like-
I'm just saying, could you have narrowed it down to just to pick one of them guys? That's what-
Chris Jones, if I had to. I mean, he got his hand up and on the ball
he did.
multiple
Oh, yeah.
times, and I mean the Chiefs may not have got more opportunities without Chris Jones and Frank Clark. Like Frank Clark, 55, took me a minute to figure out who 55 was. I knew Frank Clark was on that team, but I didn't know his jersey number.
Yeah,
But every time I saw Garoppolo under duress, if it wasn't Jones, it was Frank Clark. Like I don't know if he got a sack officially, but he was close numerous times. And Rashard Breeland, like they were talking about how well he was playing, and then he comes up with an interception, like 3 seconds after they were done talking about how great he had been playing.
Yeah.
So there was definitely guys on the defense that,
yeah. I mean, him. Honey Badger played great.
Yeah.
yeah,
Kendall Fuller played great. I mean, they had a number
Their
of
defense
guys.
really stepped up
Yeah, they did.
as opposed to what they had done the whole season.
yeah, and it was a tale of one quarter basically for them because
Right.
San Francisco looked like the Super Bowl champs 3 quarters in. Like I remember looking at the score of 20-10 and the Niners posing for that end zone picture, and I was like, it's over. Like it's just, I know it's Patty Mahomes, but it still seems like it's over. And of course, He does what he does.
What he
And,
did the previous 2 weeks.
Yeah, what he did all playoff season long
Right.
and just brought him back. But that was the most I've enjoyed a Super Bowl in quite a while.
It was. I enjoyed it. Do you think this is a start of a dynasty with the Chiefs?
I do.
I hope
I
it's
do.
not his last. Like, I hope Patty Mahomes wins a
Oh,
couple
yeah,
more.
Yeah. I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about what is successful for his career. Is it 3 Super Bowl titles? Is it 4? Is 2 not enough? Because, I mean, the talent, the fact that he's so young, like, to me,
Yeah, but look at how Peyton is revered. Granted, Peyton's one of the greatest of all time, but they call him one of the greatest of all time. He doesn't have that many.
he has, what, 2?
Two, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I think 2. I mean, yeah, I think 2. I think 2 would be good.
It would be good, but is it like...
I mean, they're going to have to continue to, keep these guys because, I mean, I'm not sure of the contract situation of some of these guys, but it's going to get expensive to keep some of these guys around. Obviously, Mahomes is going to get his here in a couple years.
They should just
A
pay
year or
him
two.
now.
yeah, they're going to pay him now.
Yeah, I
They
mean, they're-
should.
so I mean, obviously, Tyreek Hill, where they going to do with him, money's going to play a factor keeping that team together. So,
Right. But I mean, can Patrick Mahomes be considered one of the best of all time with 2 Super Bowl wins?
Well, yeah, but it would have to go with his stats. Like, I guess I
I
don't
mean,
care
if
how
he's
many
putting up-
Super Bowls he wins, but it's just his stats.
Yeah.
Like how well he plays.
I just think about the overshadowing. Like, Dan Marino, for a long time, was considered one of the best to ever play the game.
oh yeah,
And he still is.
he is.
But I mean, you don't hear the new generation talk about him because he doesn't have the Super Bowls. Joe Montana's name is still mentioned because Tom Brady's winning Super Bowls, and they talk about Joe Montana's Super Bowls. So as time goes on, like Dan Marino gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. Peyton Manning even gets lost in the shuffle a little bit because it's all about Joe Montana, Tom Brady,
And Eli.
and Eli. You're talking about Eli Rogers, right? The wide receiver that used to play
Yeah.
for the Steelers. Is that who we're...
Yeah.
Surely not.
See him make
Manning.
his XFL debut this weekend.
Eli Rogers?
Eli Rogers.
Nice.
Are we watching the XFL?
Yes.
I will. It's football.
Yeah, I'm watching it too.
Yeah.
I'll watch Pee Wee football. I don't care.
I wouldn't go that far. But I want to see if this league can be successful.
I think he can. I mean,
The player
They're
the
getting-
players worry me. The fact that Sean
Yeah.
Oakman, I'm very curious seeing Sean
Yeah.
Oakman play. But
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
not
the-
a lot of
there's not-
offensive skill players.
Yeah, the talent is right now. It's down. So I mean, is the play going to reflect that? We'll see. There's some interesting rule changes they have compared to the NFL. I don't know off the top of my head. I did read them, but it should make it for a little bit interesting. I know they're going to try to go for a faster gameplay,
Right.
and I mean, I'm excited for it. But
I am too, but I was excited for the AAF.
now, are they? Yeah.
And I enjoyed it at first.
The thing is, are they going to be able to bring in some, better talent? Is the thing.
Yeah. And how do they do it?
Right. I mean, they've done a great job marketing and stuff. I mean, they've got TV deals
Well,
with.
that's what it's going to take, I think, to
Yeah.
get talent. It's going to take money. And I think this first year we'll kind of see how much money they can get. And then next year you might see better talent moving over.
Yeah.
Just because, it's going to happen. You've got, 50-some-man rosters in the NFL. So
Yeah.
some of that talent can move.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's hundreds of guys out there without jobs.
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
they don't make the rosters. That
Practice squad
Yeah.
guys.
Right. It's still kind of surprising. Like, I know Johnny Manziel is pretty much flaked out, but just to not get a guy like that just for the name recognition, like the second chance, like apparently he's still just doing crazy stuff. But
Do you want that liability? I think that's kind of their thought on it.
no, probably not. But they're also not testing for,
marijuana.
yeah.
Well, the NFL shouldn't either, but
No.
No,
they
they
shouldn't.
shouldn't.
whatever.
Yeah. Instead, it's like, Kareem Hunt, I see 2 marijuanas in your ashtray.
They let him off. for
You're
that.
in. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, of course they did.
The Browns, I don't know if they're going to let him off for that. But yeah, I want to see how the XFL brings talent in. I'm pretty encouraged. I don't remember what the AAF had as far as TV deals. Do you remember who they?
I don't know, but I mean,
They were on.
XFL's got like Fox and ABC,
Yeah.
ESPN rolling with them here. So I mean, it's
Yeah, that's a big deal.
it is.
So I mean,
Well,
that,
they've been
that could
kind
help.
of building this up too.
They have.
I mean, they've done it right. I think the AAF just kind of, all right, let's go, and they.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
they
did
just
come to
fired it up
fruition
and-
quick.
Right.
We've
and
been
no
talking
one was
about
ready for it.
We've been talking about the XFL for what, 2 years?
I think it's
Yeah,
been 2
probably.
years.
It's like
yeah.
early 2018 or maybe even late 17 when they announced it.
Yeah, I think it was beginning of 18. I think
can
they
find
put
out.
it at like 2 years exactly to debut.
Yeah.
Something
But
like that.
like you said, the marketing, the things they've done, they're doing it well.
Yeah, January of 18. So literally a full 2 years right now.
Right.
So pretty exciting. The only thing that bothers me about startups, which I know it takes money, but 8 teams. It's kind of,
Yeah.
I hope they expand quickly. I hope they make enough money and do
Yeah.
well enough in year 1 to where next year they can jump it to 12 and then jump it to 16. And
Right, yeah, it'd
so
be
on
nice
and
to
so
build
forth.
up. I mean, you got 8 teams, 4 of them make the playoffs. It's 10-week season. So
Yeah.
I mean,
We need our Jackson, Ohio XFL team.
I've already declared the St. Louis Battlehawks as my team because of Christine Michael.
Wow.
I had a man crush on that guy
I think we all do.
when dude, he's the starting running back for him. I'm rolling with him
Nice.
until he gets hurt game 1.
I don't have a team yet.
I-
I'm going to wait and watch like I did as a little kid and see if there's one guy that just catches my eye and like that's my team.
Was that Dan Marino for you?
Dan Marino, yeah.
I watched
Obviously.
I watched a lot of Dan Marino, mainly because my mom had a crush on Dan Marino.
Oh.
So I was a Dolphins fan in the day.
I watched a lot of Dan Marino too when Jim
Duffy.
Kelly was beating their ass.
Thanks. Thanks for that.
Knife cuts deep.
I have a lot of really bad memories about Thurman Thomas.
Yeah.
A lot of nightmares.
Bruce Smith.
Yeah.
Bet
that
Dan
dude was a
Marino has
beast.
some.
But
Bet he has some
he's got PTSD.
nightmares about Bruce Smith.
Can't
Man,
really
that-
blame him.
That was I know
That
I
was the good days of football.
It was. I mean, I remember watching as a kid, but Bruce Smith versus Richmond Webb, that left tackle
Miami,
in matchup.
yep.
Oh man, that was a hell of a matchup.
It was. I mean, that was kind of the. I mean, there's a lot of golden ages of football,
Oh, yeah.
but it was definitely a little more enjoyable because when Duper or Clayton caught a long ball from Marino, there was touching. I mean, there was contact
Oh yeah.
for the first 20 or 30 yards, and don't have that as much now.
No.
So, old guys talking about old school football. Christian Okoye, Super Tecmo Bowl. That kind of like I don't
The
remember.
big old shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Dude looked like a monster, man.
Like, yeah, you don't hear a lot of stories about those guys
No.
having what is it? The brain injury. I went blank.
CTE.
CTE.
I must have it because I forgot about it. But you don't hear about a lot of those guys. Like,
No.
well, no, they've got freaking 30-gallon trash cans on each shoulder. Nothing you can do about that. It's back to the trades. The big one that happened tonight, you guys chime in, let us know what you think about it. The Logan Locos, which these team names, I know you're not going to carry them with you, but we're going to announce them anyways, gave up Aaron Jones and DJ Chark, for the Smoky Mountain Warhogs, Todd Gurley and DeAndre Hopkins. Kind of the biggest blockbuster, in my opinion. Do you want Aaron Jones and DJ Chark, or do you want Gurley and DeAndre Hopkins? I saw this trade as fairly even because Hopkins, obviously, to me, best player in the deal.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Den got younger, so I see his point of view on it. But
It's
I mean,
a
he's
lot of
really
roster. It
he's-
just depends on your rosters, I think.
yeah. I mean, and obviously he's got a talented roster,
Yeah.
but I mean, he's banking on DJ Chark repeating or getting better at
and Aaron Jones.
yeah, and
for
Aaron
that
Jones.
matter.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, I mean this past year could be.
Does
you know,
Green Bay finally say, "Oh, we just won't give the ball to Jamal Williams"?
Yeah, well, I mean, I like Jamal Williams. He's a good compliment.
Green Bay does too. But
Yeah.
there's just so much of a split
Right.
this year.
That's what I'm
There
saying. I
was
think
less.
Yeah. Jamal Williams is the next Damian Williams.
yeah.
Oddly enough, they got traded for each other next.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
but really, Damian Williams not the greatest his first handful of years in the league, and then not bad.
No,
I mean, he's a solid back.
He's been good for Kansas City.
Yeah, like if Jamal Williams gets a change of scenery, could be the same situation. I think he's good enough to
Yeah,
start
because
somewhere.
I mean, when Aaron Jones went down, he filled in pretty nicely.
Yeah. So which side personally do you guys want? Start with Lambert. Do you want the Hopkins side with Gurley, who's scary?
I think I want Hopkins. He's
He's
an
foolproof.
elite player.
Yeah, I mean,
That's who I want. I
sure,
want Hopkins for
surefire. You know, top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah, I'm going Hopkins' side as well.
Yeah, I was torn. Like I was really on the fence because you are banking on Aaron Jones and DJ Chark repeating their production, and
Which I
I've
think
never,
it can happen.
I think it can
I'm
happen
a little
too.
worried about Chark. But Aaron Jones, I'm not too worried about.
See, I still kind of am. Like Green Bay played that game, where they ran more and Aaron Rodgers took a little bit of a back seat. I wonder if they try to balance it back out a little bit. Take 30 to 50 carries away from Aaron Jones and put the ball in Rodgers' hands a little more. And
Is Green Bay going to finally get a compliment to Devontae Adams?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think
they
this
need
is
to.
the year
Yeah.
that they do just that. I think they're going to make it a priority. Like, they don't have many years of Aaron Rodgers left.
No.
They need to go out and grab a really good number 2 and hope that Valdez-Scantling or Lazard or one of these guys can become a reliable number 3. And maybe Aaron Jones doesn't see the same volume or see the same goal line carries because they didn't.
Yeah,
I mean, they had a good season. They had a really good season.
That's where he had 16 touchdowns?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a
So,
ton.
that's where, because he had just over 1,000 yards. It's not, So, it's not like he put up 1,500 yards.
He's
like
not
Derrick
winning
Henry.
the rushing title.
Right.
But he puts up points.
Right. But he puts him up in sort of a way, too. Like, how many multi-touchdown games did Aaron Jones have?
Right.
It was,
Like, he
There
really...
was a lot of big games.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. He had a 4-touchdown game, a 3-touchdown game, 3 2-touchdown games. He went some stretches without a touchdown, too. After his 4-touchdown game, his next 4 games were 47 yards and no scores. Well, wait. That's correct. Then he had 50 yards, no scores on the ground, but he had a touchdown in the air. Then he had this out of the blue, 13 carries, 67 yards, no touchdowns, but then 7 catches, 159, and 2 in the air. But he wasn't really, he caught 49 balls
yeah.
for 474 and 3 touchdowns. That's very solid, but I don't know if I want to bank on that. And without that 4 and 3 touchdown game, it knocks him down in the 200s as far as his fantasy points. I just worry a little bit.
Yeah,
that
he
he's
had
not going to be
19 total touchdowns. He probably doesn't ever touch that again.
I don't think so. I don't see how he could. That's a lot.
But could he get 13 to 15? Sure.
Yes. Yeah. But does he? That's the question, I guess, when you're banking on that deal. Does he actually
Well,
do
and another
that?
question is what's going to happen to Todd Gurley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got terrible knees.
But
And-
he's only 25 years old. He'll be 26 when the season starts.
He
but,
did still have 12 touchdowns on the ground and 2 in the air, so there's 14 total touchdowns,
Right.
even on an off year of Gurley. His carries were down, not by a ton, but he only gained 857 on 223 carries.
I think they relied on him more than people thought they were going to this year.
Yeah, I think
Remember,
people thought he was
Darrell
going to be like
Henderson was the big thing
the
coming out,
hotness.
which
the new
I
hotness.
fell for that in another league and drafted him.
I think
early.
it could still work out for you.
Absolutely, I'm
I think
hanging
if they
on
trade
to
him-
but
If they trade him, it could work out really well. But
Yep.
yeah, I'm scared to death of Gurley. But if they trade him, and maybe he finds some new medicine technology out there, who knows? But I'd definitely be looking to move him. If Travis, the guy who acquired Gurley and Hopkins, can move Gurley and maybe another piece and just upgrade that running back a little bit, which is honestly more than a little bit considering the injury concerns, then he clearly wins the deal.
Yeah. I agree.
Right now, I think you could go either way on it, and you're not wrong. But then he smartly turned around after dealing Aaron Jones. He held on to Jamal Williams, kept him out of the deal, And then he turned around a few hours later and dealt Jamal Williams for Damian Williams. Now, see, now he's all of a sudden that trade turns into Hopkins, Gurley, and Damian Williams for Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, and DJ Chark. So I think it's starting to look better.
Yeah, I definitely like it more for Hopkins, and I think it allows him because I mean, if you're in the belief that Kansas City, leaves Damian Williams in the lead role,
Big if.
yeah, obviously a big if. But it allows him to move Gurley, and he still has Damian Williams there to play if he needs him.
Right.
They showed faith in Damian Williams this year.
Yeah.
I mean, Shady McCoy was a healthy scratch a lot. So,
For the Super Bowl.
well, yeah, biggest game of the year, and you hold the guy out.
Yeah. And Williams played solid in the
Yep.
Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So,
and the big Darwin Thompson hype that fell through because Damian Williams is solid enough.
yep. Yeah.
So do they work on other areas of need in the draft and in the offseason once free agents open up, and then just leave Damian in the backfield with a Darwin Thompson and who was the other guy they ran? He was a Williams too. Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Darryl
Williams.
Williams, yeah.
Darryl Williams.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think they'd be perfectly fine to do that, but I guarantee they add someone.
Yeah,
They're going to add someone. I
I don't know. I don't know if it'll be any of the big name running backs coming out, but
I don't think it will be. But I mean, maybe they give a guy like Kareem Hunt a chance again. I doubt it, but you never know.
I think he stays in Cleveland. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if Kansas City kicked the tires on Kareem Hunt again.
See, I think the best case scenario for Williams would be if they brought in a guy like Jordan Howard, who I think they can just kind of use Williams and Howard the same way Howard and Miles Sanders were used,
Yeah,
and let the best guy kind of win out. And I think Damian Williams is a little better than Jordan Howard. And Jordan Howard's not going to break the bank. They could afford to bring a guy like Jordan Howard in. But they're going to bring in someone.
yeah. I think they do too.
Yes. Went completely blank there.
Yeah.
I will cut that out. Not on the live stream. Too late for that.
No, you
but I'll cut
No, you won't.
cut it out on the other. Let's go to the other league. There's not been as many trades, but it is kind of fun talking about trades and getting opinions on them. So we've got other league of record, league number 2.
Can we talk about the one that just happened?
You
that
can talk
involved
about
us?
whatever you want.
The one that just happened.
Let's talk about it.
You want to read it?
Alvin Kamara acquired by Hux and Larry Fitzgerald. To get Kamara and Fitzgerald, he gave up Philip Lindsay, Marlon Mack, and DJ Chark. Now, this team, I hope it's a rebuilding team or someone trying to make the best of a bad roster. If that's the case, I don't mind it for him. But you got to love getting Alvin Kamara. That's not an easy name to acquire.
No, I mean, I was surprised to see it offered to me, especially by who it was offered by. Burns doesn't send out very many offers, acceptable ones at that.
I feel like it's a good deal for you. I mean, you get a
Yeah, I
top
mean-
running back for 2 mid-tier running backs.
I obviously I accepted it pretty quick. That's why I had to throw it out there before he revoked it. I had to talk about it because I was afraid I was going to refresh the page and it was going to be gone.
That's typically what happens. If it would have came from Lambert, it
Oh,
would have been
I love
it.
he
I
would have
love
been
doing that.
it would have been
Love it.
revoked
Here's
before
one
you
that
could
you
even
might
hit
accept. I don't like it.
it. You would have saw that trade, like you would have got the notification by email, and you would have hit the accept button on the email, and just that quickly it would have been like trade no longer available,
Yep,
revoked by
absolutely.
owner,
Yep.
and we'd have been like, Lambert.
I knew who said that.
Lambert got us again. So, yeah, I like the Kamara side. Now, if I'm a rebuilding team and Kamara was my only asset, this is the thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, I gave up 3 young guys. I mean,
DJ Chark again. DJ Chark's a hot name right
Yeah.
now in dynasty trades. Like, apparently, people aren't buying the fact that he's going to continue to do that. Because he's been dealt in every league that I've seen that's opened
Or
up
maybe
so far.
people are buying that he's going to do that again. That's why they're trying to acquire him.
Could be. But I don't know. I wouldn't be thrilled about getting Fitzgerald back when I had Chark, but Kamara makes it a deal. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that's the deal. I'm taking the Kamara side all day. But you have to. Did you pause because of DJ Chark at all, or was it an instant like, yeah, I can do that?
I mean, I guess I was looking at it because I didn't really factor in Fitz. It was more of a 1-for-3 deal there. It was like, I'm giving up some depth here.
And I'm guessing you didn't pay much for Chark.
I don't even know. I got him around the trade deadline last year, I believe. Can't really remember what I gave up for him.
Oh.
So
You probably didn't pay much for him then.
I mean, probably not a whole lot, but I mean that's probably
19 trade deadline.
Yeah, this- I
Oh,
mean, this-
okay.
yeah,
So you
so
probably
I'm-
paid a
Oh,
little.
Yeah, I mean,
deadline. Okay, I thought you
Yeah.
meant before the season started.
I got him sometime during this past
Okay.
season.
Yeah, you
So
might have paid then.
I may have. I think I went younger and got him. I'm not sure what I'd have to. I don't even know if I could go back and look. But I mean, it hurts me at depth at running back. I mean, it leaves me with just Kamara and Singletary, but literally
That's-
nothing else. But I mean,
good
I can
enough.
work on that.
Yeah, I mean, well, you're going to feel better starting Kamara and Singletary
Oh,
than
yeah.
Singletary and Mack or Lindsey.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
and that's an every week thing, matchup thing. Who am I going
Right.
to play, Mac, Lindsey? So,
Right. Yeah, and that's not enviable. That's not a good position. That's kind of why I traded my 105 for Melvin Gordon, because I really didn't want to be forced to start David Montgomery every single week. Like, I'd rather him be like my bye week option, and maybe if he breaks out, I could trade a Melvin Gordon or Nick Chubb. Unlikely I'd trade Chubb, but
I was gonna say if you do,
right.
let me know.
Trade him back to the
Until
guy I got
Chicago,
him from.
until Chicago goes out and signs Melvin Gordon, then you have both Bears.
That would be absolutely terrible. If that happens, the show's canceled. Show's over.
It's because you flipped the table.
Show's over. I will not be able to play fantasy football anymore after that happens. So, another trade that went down, kind of enjoyable to see what values some of these second-year guys got. Drew Lock traded for Garoppolo and a 2021 second. Which side do we like here? I'll wait to chime in. Which side do you like, Drew Lock or Garoppolo and the future second rounder?
I'm leaning Garoppolo, but
I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't figure. I like Drew Lock, but I still want to see more.
Yeah.
So-
Lambert?
I think it all kind of hinges on where that second's going to be next year, and it's coming from the guy who is back-to-back champs. So I'm probably going Lock here, just because you got games where Garoppolo barely throws the ball, which has me worried for my Debo Samuel share. But
Well, even though Jimmy Garoppolo has like the better name here, I've already heard a lot of rumblings that Garoppolo's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Had some miscues in that game, and that San Francisco could very well look to upgrade. Could very well look to bring in a Tom Brady, who would love to go back home to California.
already sold his house.
Right. So I mean,
He's going to be a Raider. That's all that matters.
maybe.
I hope so.
I hope so for Arms' sake. But I mean, if you're the Niners, is Garoppolo going to win a title for you? Or is he
They-
just not quite good enough?
They messed up in the Super Bowl by going away from the run. That's
Yeah.
all there is to it.
Oh,
That
yeah.
team is
But-
a run-first team, and I think Jimmy G is good enough to be what they need him to be.
But do they just rest on that good enough, especially what he's owed over the way they set the contract up, this is the time to get out of it. Like that,
Okay.
They set themselves up
Then-
for 2 years, and you can bail with minimal cap hit,
Okay.
or you pay him a shit ton more money. So I mean,
I'm looking at it.
Bring Nick Mullins back.
yeah,
Throw
still
him in.
there.
He
I'd
could-
be just as fine with Nick Mullins.
He could do what
He
Jimmy
could.
G did.
But I mean, I don't know, because it's like if you move on from Jimmy G, it's like I think you take a step back. I don't know.
It depends on who you bring in. If you bring in Tom Brady, you don't take a step back.
I think you do. It hurts you. It may not hurt you this year, but it's going the dude's gonna retire.
Right, but you going to pay? I don't know. I'd rather give a 1 year, $25 million contract to Tom Brady than pay Jimmy Garoppolo $20 million. I'll have to look at the cap hit, but it's a lot. But they can get out of it.
I think he's good enough. They rely on that defense to get them to championship games and the run, and that's all they need. And what they need is a guy that can play quarterback that can just dink and dunk to get some first downs until they can punch one in with the running back.
Right. The only
I
thing
just don't know. I mean, obviously Brady's great and all, but I mean he regressed this year.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I just don't know if is he going to be enough to get him over the hump.
Right. He doesn't have the arm strength that he did.
No,
Everything he throws is 15 yards or less.
I mean, it's not. I mean, obviously they have Kittle and Debo, and they could bring Sanders back, but
I didn't know this about Garoppolo. Apparently, I missed this. But Kyle Shanahan said that his nickname is Dirk Diggler because where you want it, he'll put it there. Did not know that. Did not
Okay.
know that at all. But
Here, I thought it was because all the porn stars were hitting on him.
should be. But they signed Garoppolo. He's guaranteed $34.2 million in 2018. Massive cap hit of $37 million. Last year he got $17.2 million guaranteed. His cap hit came down from $37 million to roughly $20. In 2020, the Niners can get out from under the deal if they so choose. None of his salary is guaranteed till April 1st. It would save them $22.5 million. $22.5 million. Just trade him or drop him. $22 million off the books.
so if
Sign
he's
whatever.
on, okay, so if he's on the roster past April 1st, he's due $22 million. So what's it look like after this year?
You got to think the only free agent QBs are Dak, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Tannehill, Phillip Rivers, Teddy Bridgewater,
Mariota.
Jameis, and Mariota.
I kind of would take any of them except Mariota.
Teddy B,
Yeah.
think he's better than Jimmy G?
I didn't say better.
Well, okay. You
for,
can get him
for
cheaper.
the
Cheaper?
money. If
Probably,
you're
yeah.
going to run this run first offense and not rely on somebody to win you games with their arm, why pay him that much money? When you could go sign Teddy Bridgewater for probably what, 13 million? 13, 14 million a year if that.
Trade for Cam Newton.
Trade for Cam. Seriously.
Yeah.
Why not? So, I just worry. I worry about acquiring Garoppolo when his future could be a little murky. I mean, the NFL, it's business. A lot of money involved. Garoppolo's making a ton. You can
he
get
would-
out from under it.
He would go. I mean, he's going to start somewhere else. I think.
Absolutely.
But is it as desirable as San Francisco?
Depends. Maybe he goes to New Orleans and has some weapons.
I don't
A
know.
little bit
about
better. Yeah, probably not. But
that. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. It's going to be Taysom Hill's job.
Something to think about. Here, I got his contract pulled up. So, nope, it doesn't break it down. My God, $137 million. Wow. All right. Last trade. Ryan Tannehill. Which side do you want? Tannehill, Rashad, not Rashard. Tannehill, Rashad Penny, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, TJ Hawkinson. My voice cracked.
Hawkinson. Hawkinson.
What the Hawkinson? Or do you want Derek Carr, Dwayne Haskins, Noah Fant, O.J. Howard?
Did you get the 207 in there on the Tannehill side?
I did. I got the 207. My bad. So Tannehill, Rashad Penny, MVS, Hawkinson, 207. Derek Carr, Dwayne Haskins, Noah Fant, O.J. Howard. So two quarterbacks.
I want the
Two
Tannehill
tight
side.
ends.
Just
I got the Tannehill side. I
I
kind of
think
felt
I
good
think
about
I want
it.
the Tannehill side too.
So you
And
don't
it's mainly because of the second round pick.
mainly, yeah. I mean, Noah Fant, Hawkinson, is that a wash, or do we think Fant's going to be better than Hawkinson?
I think Fant will be better than Hawkinson.
I kind of do too.
But it's the tight end, so I feel like you can stream that position.
Also true. That's also true. Yeah.
But it's basically the 207. I mean,
I mean,
Tannehill, I like Tannehill better than Dwayne Haskins.
yeah. Well,
and Derek Carr.
I kind of still like Haskins a little bit. Obviously, this deal was
They need to
between me
get
and
him-
Arms,
they
so
need to
all I
get him
needed was to
more
dangle
weapons.
Haskins.
Right, right.
Like, hey, got this Haskins for you, buddy. What he threw for the rookie touchdown record, didn't he, Arms? I think
He was
Didn't
close.
Wasn't that what you said? He was going to throw for the rookie touchdown record. So, Rashad Penny was kind of one of the selling points in it for me. He looked really good down the stretch. I know he tore his ACL, but rebuilding team.
Carson really took over there.
He did, yeah.
I still
He
think
did.
Seattle goes back to where they're splitting carries.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But man, Carson looked like an animal.
But Carson's got some injury worries too right now, doesn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he had a hip injury, but he should be good.
Should be. But, yeah. Rashad Penny, Tannehill, 207. Hawkinson. I'll take Hawkinson. Get rid of those other guys. Of course, we ended on me, but that's trade talk. That's
Yeah.
trade
It's all
talk.
about you.
Hopefully more to come.
So, somehow we took trade talk and went an hour, but trade. Make
Just
some
so
trades.
so much going on. So exciting.
We got rookie quarterbacks coming up, but we just want to talk about league openings, some of the trades that were made, kind of get back into the offseason, ease back into it. We'll bring you some quarterback analysis from the rookie class of 2020. Honestly, didn't want to do it tonight. The Rewind's doing it tonight. Multiple other places are doing it. Want to hear those first. Want to listen to those.
I want to steal their material.
Rip them off.
That's right.
Steal all of their takes to make my own.
It's a good idea.
Not really.
Coming for you, Bauer.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Arms will probably be back. Maybe after he heard how we talked about Haskins, he might not. But
Oh, he'll be back to talk about Burrow. He doesn't care.
Oh yeah, he's
Oh,
not.
that's
He's
right.
not going to miss
He's not
Burrow.
gonna-
have his
Absolutely.
LSU bib on to catch the babies. Thank you.
See ya.
Thanks.
This concludes another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. Thanks for listening, and be sure to give us a review.